GearNetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
What's up, rockers? This is the rockstar Robbie Vegas, professional wrestler and host of the All Bets Are Off podcast. But right now, you're listening to the Fantasy Football Bros podcast, so take it away, Chaz.
Here we go. Hey, everything on three. Number three. Win on one. Oh, win on three. 1, 2, 3. Win it. I got a little mixed up in that. Eyes on three. Everything on 3 and 1. Everything.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Fantasy Football Bros podcast. It's your boy, Chaz, and with me, as almost always until next week, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Jay Coleman. What's up, brah?
What's up?
All right, and back for the attack, we got the no nickname, no nonsense, Adam Van Houten.
Oh, what's up, guys? It's Adam here.
We're drinking some seltzers today.
Corona seltzers.
Don't say that.
Oh, sorry, I can't say Corona.
Don't say. We're going to get demonetized.
2022.
For all the money we make, which is nothing.
Appreciate you having me back, man.
Well,
Thank you.
we're happy to have you back. It's the mock draft show and the tight end ranking show, which I figure we're going to blow through quickly. So, is there anything to set the table with, gentlemen? I don't think so. I'm not talking about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I don't think
you just did.
Damn it. I'm not talking about Deshaun Watson. No Deshaun Watson, long discussion until he gets suspended.
Yeah, I don't think there's really anything that happened over the course of the last couple weeks.
You know what I saw today? John Brown was trying out for some team.
Oh, good for him. Give him a shot.
Yeah.
For some team.
Cole Beasley still doesn't have a team.
Is that
I don't know. Is
that
that
vaccine related?
I don't think so anymore.
I think it's he is a distraction thing.
I think it's more of I'm a veteran. I don't want the veteran minimum.
And he's declining, and he thinks he's great still, and he's coming off the future Super Bowl champion. So
True.
What's he going to sign with the Jaguars?
They could probably use him.
Yes,
they
definitely.
have 9,000 receivers, especially some of Jay's favorites over there. Okay, so not much to set the table with. We're going to get right into the tight end rankings, but first, please check out our awesome sponsors. Yeah, and we're back for our famous tight end ranking show that hasn't came out until today. So, the question on everybody's mind, and I'm pretty sure, does anybody here not have one or two, either Kelce or Andrews?
No, I definitely do.
Jay?
No.
Okay, so we both have Kelce and Andrews as the top two in some form. For me, it's Kelce and Andrews. Adam?
For me, it's Kelce and Andrews as well.
Jay.
Even though
Kelce and Waller.
Oh, so you change it. Okay.
Okay.
So we're all agreeing that
different.
Kelce's the man.
Yes.
And for my reasons, now I won't take too much time in each player because we got a lot to talk about. My reasons is Kelce's always been good. He was good before Tyreek Hill. He's going to be good after Tyreek Hill. I know he's getting older now, but I mean, he's not as old as us. So
that's true. Well, maybe me.
Maybe you.
I'm the youngest.
Maybe
so
you. No, he's like 33.
That's how.
Are you okay? Yeah. So he's just about you.
Same.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
You are. Damn it. So he's as old as us. Damn it.
Old as you.
I mean, it's Travis Kelce. He's
I'm-
got
for the
one of
record-
the best quarterbacks in the league.
For the record, I'm as old as Jimmy Graham.
Is he still in the league? I think he is.
He was.
I actually think he is.
So he's got to be unseated, and I know he was unseated last year, and I know a lot of people. We'll just talk about Andrews here now too. So where do you have Andrews, Jay?
3.
It's 3. Okay, so he's still up there.
Yeah.
The reason I think Andrews just underneath is just there's not going to be a throwing volume in Baltimore like that. They're going to be better. Their running backs are coming back. Their defense is improving. They're going to smash mouth football. Lamar's going to run. I'm not saying Andrews is going to suck, but I'm going to make you guys a promise right now. I'll tell you this right now. Mark Andrews 100% is not going to be on my team. He's going too early. He's going mid to early second round. He will not be on my team. So it's just too early for me. Kelce might not even be on my team either unless he slips to the second round. I tried the getting Kelce in the first round thing last year, which was cool. But the thing about it is I'm more comfortable with some of these other tight ends. Last year I wasn't. So that's why I jumped on Kelce. There's about 5 or 6 guys I'm completely comfortable with.
In years past, I think there was always a huge drop-off of tight end after your first 3 or 4, and probably in this list it's still a pretty significant drop-off, but not as big as it used to be after your top 4 guys.
Well, because it used to be Kelce, Gronk, Jimmy Graham.
Right. And then after that, it was really nothing. Now you have a lot of guys on this list that really have a lot of potential. So tight end position is definitely changing.
Right. With Kelce getting older, and then like we mentioned last week that the big block of like the big goofy white guys at the end of the top 10, like any of those guys could be the next Kelce. Yeah. Kelce wasn't a big deal, like a huge deal till his like 3rd year, right? So there's a lot of young dudes that can come through and make a big deal. Now I know, Jay, you said you have Darren Waller at 2. We'll discuss him because I have Darren Waller at 3.
I also have him at 3.
Okay, and that is different on all of us because most consensus are putting Pitts or Kittle ahead of him.
I definitely see the argument for Waller at 3. He had some injuries last year, but that shouldn't be a problem. And even adding Devontae Adams to the offense doesn't do anything for his fantasy value except for increase it, probably.
I don't think Devontae Adams hurts Darren Waller at all. I agree
with that.
What hurts Darren Waller, and it hurt him a little bit last year, was the emergence of Hunter Renfrow. Because that's kind of like where Derek Carr was starting to, I don't want to say checking down, but like going over the middle, short slot routes to Hunter Renfrow, red zone targets Hunter Renfrow, red zone targets Devontae Adams, of course.
Waller did miss some time, which is why he ranked the 18th tight end last year.
Yes.
So the injury didn't help, and you're right, Renfrow came on strong, especially in his absence. And then even when he came back, he was still strong. I'm curious to see why do you, Jay, rank him at 2 above Andrews?
I think, for me personally, I think Waller has more potential than Andrews. The Raiders' offense, too.
I like that word potential. And I mean, Waller was a beast 2 out of 3 years, where I feel that like Andrews is just a hot flavor right now because he was pretty good last year. But he's always been meh.
Yeah. Plus, like what you said, like their running backs are going to be back. Like they lost every single running back they had pretty much last year. So they're going to be back. They're going to be running it more. So
I know. I wish I would have returned their call. I could have tried out for them last year.
Anyone could.
But I was busy. But I completely agree with the potential thing. I think
it's called ceiling in fantasy football.
Well, but just the potential of if Waller plays at his ultimate prime for his ceiling, like you said, it's a bigger year than Andrews.
I mean, Waller's a guy who gets 100-plus targets every single year.
Yes.
So
he's more athletic.
He's more athletic than Andrews.
And Kelce.
And Kelce, true. With Waller, it's just he's solid. He's a guy that Derek Carr can count on game after game.
Yep.
And with Andrews and with the running backs coming back, and Lamar Jackson is not a personal favorite of mine by any means.
You choked up there?
Yeah, you choked up.
You hate him that much, bro? Yeah. Jesus, relax. I mean, I know.
Sorry, guys.
I'm not cutting any of this out.
Wow.
Jeez, relax there.
I got choked up a little bit.
Here's another thing about Darren Waller and the Raiders' offense. Their new head coach, Josh McDaniels, developed an entire career off of using his tight ends.
Exactly.
With Gronk, with Hernandez. Even last year with Hunter Henry. He was pretty solid last year.
He was.
So like,
very touchdown dependent, but still solid.
Right, which is what you need in fantasy sometimes.
Yes.
So to me, it's almost like tier-wise, like Kelce's easily the number 1, and then Andrews and Waller are like in the next tier, and then there's a new tier after that. Like that's how I kind of look at it.
I agree.
So, all right, cool. So we're going on that. So my next 2, and this will round up the top 5 for me. All right, number 4, Kyle Pitts, and number 5, George Kittle.
I have mine reversed. I have George Kittle at 4 and Kyle Pitts at 5.
And here comes Jay dropping a bomb on us. Probably. All right, Jay, let's see. 4 and 5.
4 is Kittle and 5 is Dawson Knox.
Oh, boy, I knew that was...
I had Dawson Knox up there, and then thinking about it more based on the offense that Atlanta is going to run, Pitts is going to be a huge part of it.
How far down do you have Pitts?
6.
So he's the next one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk. We'll hold off on Knox for a second. Let's talk about Pitts. You're right. He's going to be a huge part of the offense. He's coming off a year last year where he had a lot of yards.
He had over 100 targets.
And one more touchdown than me.
Yes.
So that number's got to go up. But thankfully, he's got a big, strong arm, throw it down the field, quarter. Oh, wait, no, he doesn't. So that's why Pitts scares me. So I put him at 4, though, because it's fucking Kyle Pitts.
I agree. He's a freak of nature. I don't like the touchdown totals. Obviously, nobody does. But there were some games in there where he had 8 catches for 120 yards.
Yep.
Not very many, but it's looking at that and going, okay, this guy could be a force.
Well, looking at it like this, but you have Kittle first.
I do have Kittle at 4, and
I
it's
think
based on his body of work.
But I think, I have Kittle at 5, thanks for his body, period. Because if you're going to take it, you're taking a gamble on either one of these two. I guess I'm more comfortable taking the gamble with Pitts because he hasn't been injured and has put up decent stats where Kittle puts up great stats but is injured. Also, They both have new quarterbacks. So that's something to think about.
Oh, we could have started with that. Jimmy Garoppolo finally was granted permission to seek a trade.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. And you don't know what Kittle. We'll move on to Kittle now. Well, we'll ask you about Pitts in a second, Jay. But you don't know what Kittle is capable of with a new quarterback.
I agree.
You don't know what his tendencies are.
Yeah.
But you know what he could be.
Exactly.
So I think that helps him in the rankings.
But isn't it the same question with Marcus Mariota? Where you had, I think, Marcus Mariota 1 year, Delaney Walker had a great year with him. So there is a little sprinkle of hope, I guess.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts has got a quarterback that utilized his tight end quite a bit. Delaney Walker was in the league for a while and thrived.
But we also got to remember one thing, though. Kyle Pitts isn't really a tight end as much as a receiver.
I agree, and with the suspension to Calvin Ridley.
So they're Kyle Pitts and Drake London.
And that's their offense with Marcus Mariota. And they don't have a running back.
Well, they have Cordero Patterson.
Oh, yeah. Right. That guy.
He was a league winner last year.
He was good. Until he got hurt, and then he screwed a lot of people over towards the end of the season there.
I don't know. So what was your 4 and 5 again, Jay?
4 was Kittle and 5 was Knox.
And then you had Pitts after Knox. So why do you, and I know you hate Kittle, why you got him at 4? I was expecting him to be lower for you.
Like what Adam said, like his reputation, his body of work, like he puts up, like when he's healthy, he puts up good numbers.
When?
When. And I've had him on my team, so I know more than anyone that he gets hurt. But
I heard both of y'all shit talk my boy Trey Lance.
I didn't shit talk Trey Lance.
I swear you did once.
I'm not a fan of him, and I'm not a big fan of the 49ers to begin with. And
they're just 2-3 out of years in NFC Championship games.
Yeah, that still does nothing for me.
Well, because
they have a great defense.
Because 3 out of 3 was Green Bay,
and their defense is incredible.
Agreed. Well, we'll see. I mean, if I had to draft Kittle, I mean, I'm not going to be upset.
Yeah,
I'm not going to reach for Kittle. Now, you, Jay, said you had Knox at 5.
Yep.
Where did you have him at?
I have Knox at 7,
and I have him at 8. So we have a debate here.
So my number 6 is Dalton Schultz,
as well as mine.
My number 7 is Dawson Knox, and my number 8 is Zach Ertz. Might as well go 8 since we have Dawson. You have Knox at 8.
I'll give my 6, 7, 8. Schultz, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
At 7, I got T.J. Hawkinson, and I got Knox at 8. And I know, Jay, we got Kittle at 6. Right?
No.
Oh, no, or sorry.
No.
You got
Kittle was at 4.
Pitts at 6, sorry.
Knox was at 5.
Yep.
Pitts at 6.
Yep. Schultz at 7. T.J. Hawkinson at 8.
Okay, so we're all pretty much
close.
in line there. So let's start with Knox, actually, because Jay hasn't ranked the highest.
Yes.
We got 5, 7, and 8
Yes.
for Knox. For me, I'll go last. Why don't you go, Jay?
Yeah, let Jay go first because he's got him the highest.
Yeah, sell me, Jay.
He's my guy for one, but I was right when I said, like, everyone was shit talking Knox and like, oh, he sucks, like he can't catch, he can't do this, he can't do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's gonna have a monster year. He had a good year, and I think he's only gonna get better. So to me, I think I value that And like,
And obviously the best
Bills,
quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, and the Bills' offense is, I mean, we're top 2 offenses.
Oh,
you
we're
can
gonna be
argue
a
we're
problem.
top 1. So
I did have Dawson Knox ranked as my number 5, at my number 5, and I did some tinkering, and the Bills' offense is explosive. Josh Allen threw touchdowns to 15 different players last year. Okay, Dawson Knox had 9 of those. So he's very touchdown dependent, which is why he ranks a little bit lower on my list than Jay's list. He's a great player, has a lot of huge ceiling, but Diggs, Gabriel Davis, the emergence of Gabriel Davis last year, and we hope as Bills fans it translates into this year. Adding Jamison Crowder, a lot of people underrate that, but Dawson Knox, and then of course you bring in OJ Howard. So how is it really going to affect him? I don't think all that much. I still think Dawson Knox is the guy, but because of his touchdown dependency last year, I have him ranked a little bit lower.
And I agree with you, but I have him. It's not like I have him down much further. I have him one more spot.
Right.
And the reason is the guy you have for mention, 2 guys you have for mention, because Jamison Crowder is better than what we had last year. Like, in general, I mean, both
agree.
guys, Sanders or Cole Beasley. So, and he's a fantastic slot receiver, which is where Knox was kind of making his money as a slot receiver last year. But the big reason is OJ Howard. I know OJ Howard hasn't had the career everybody thought when he was the 9th overall draft pick. But he went to a team, he got hurt, Tom Brady comes in and brings his boy in. So he kind of got buried off of that. The Bills went and signed OJ Howard the first day of free agency, basically. The same day we brought in Von Miller with the biggest free agent move, we also brought in OJ Howard, which means they targeted him and they wanted him. OJ Howard, did they bring him in to run block? Because we don't fucking run the ball and he's not a good run blocker. So, to go and target that man with that pedigree and that talent, he's not going to be a run-blocking tight end.
I agree.
They have plans on using him. Now, it doesn't make me, fearful of Dawson Knox being a bust or anything like that. I just think people are underestimating this O.J. Howard signing. I would never draft O.J. Howard ahead of Dawson Knox or anything like that. But it just scares me, and you have to think about that when you're making your moves. What if there's 9 touchdowns to the tight end position of Buffalo, and Knox gets 5 and OJ gets 4? That's going to make Knox's productions go way down because he doesn't get the yards or the catches as some of these other guys. So that could really hurt him, and that's why it's scary. We're also unabashed Bills fans, so we get hype on guys that
we're a little biased.
Sure. So even with all those scary things I just said, I still have Knox in my top 8.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of where my comfort level lies to this point, where we are of 8 people.
I'd be very happy with Dawson Knox on my team.
I'd be okay.
As my starting tight end if I can't get some of the top guys that we have already named.
And just don't sleep on O.J. Howard, y'all. But I had Dalton Schultz at 6.
I also had him at 6.
And Jay?
I had 7.
Okay.
So we're all in the same area.
To me, he's a no-brainer. Because just because he was pretty decent last year, and he's on the Cowboys who lost Amari Cooper, and kind of questioning who the second receiver is. So, he was good last year. He should see more targets. Dak's going to be healthier.
He was very good last season. He was the 3rd tight end overall after Andrews and Kelce, who ranked 1 and 2. Right. Dalton Schultz is one of those. He's just reliable. He's always there. He's going to be an outlet for Dak. And like you said, losing Cooper, Gallup could step up, but he's nursing an ACL injury at close to the end of last season, so he's not going to be available for the first few games of the season. He's going to have to throw somewhere. You have 2 great running backs in Zeke and Pollard, so that could take away, but I highly doubt it. Schultz is a guy. He could very easily be top 5 again.
I think Schultz has the potential to be top 2.
Sure.
But
he was close. He had a lot of targets last year. He was another 100-plus target guy.
Yeah, and now they lost their big target getter. What's your feelings on Schultz?
He's like what Adam was saying. He's dependable. He's not no one sees him as like flashy or anything, but like he's gonna get points. So
yeah, and it just I was like iffy on him at first, but the more we get closer to it and I think about him, I think he's a great, solid pick. I had Hockenson at 7, so my 6, 7, 8 reminder were Schultz, Hockenson, and Knox. And what was yours?
My 6, 7, 8 was Schultz, Knox, and Zach Ertz.
Okay, and then what was your 6, 7?
it's Schultz, Hockenson.
So let's talk about Hockenson. I have him at 7. You have him at 8.
I have him at 9.
Okay, so this is a good guy to talk about. I think everyone's got a little hangover on Hockenson because we got hyped for him last year, and he just wasn't the same. I mean, he got a new quarterback last year, Jared Goff, but it wasn't like he was dog water. But I believe he was going like 3rd or 4th overall tight end.
He was going pretty high. Yeah.
He was.
So he didn't perform like everybody wanted him to, kind of. And I think everybody's got a little just hangover on him. And you got to remember, this is another guy who was a top 10 draft pick at tight end. He lost Matt Stafford, gained Jared Goff, or the nickname we have the show from, Jared Goff. But like second year with Jared Goff, a second year in this system. You brought in new weapons all around. Like, I think he's going to have a much better year, and I would not be surprised if Hockenson lands in the top 5.
Hockenson, for me, is always one of those guys ranked in the top 10 and then falls out of the top 15.
Yeah.
He was, and that's mainly because of the injuries that he's had over the years.
Sure.
Is he good? Absolutely, because he wouldn't be ranked that high year after year, regardless of his injury history and how many games. Like, he played. I have it right here. How many games did he play last year? He played 12 games last year and was just outside the top 15. He was ranked 16.
So even though he missed 5 games,
he's still there, and he really kind of helped out that offense later on. I mean, Detroit they played well the last 6, 7 games of the season.
They're going to be a much better team.
They're going to be a much better team. I believe their over/under is like 6.5 right now.
I
would take the over on the Lions this year, and Hockenson being a huge part of that. If Goff can, be a good quarterback.
What about you, Jim?
Because, real quick on Goff, we saw him go to the Super Bowl. We saw him play very well, and ultimately got traded to the Lions, and he has the potential.
He's not the answer, and he doesn't have a great history with tight ends.
Right.
But like, what I think happened last year, Jay, and we'll get to your take on Hawk in 1 second, is you went into this year, week 1, guys. Who was the Lions starting 2 receivers last year, week 1? Exactly, we don't fucking know, right? Because that's what they had. So by the time that St. Brown broke out,
everybody on the Lions broke out very late.
yeah.
Amon-Ra came on.
So you got Amon-Ra, you got
Hockenson came back from injury.
Marvin Jones now, right?
No, he's in Jacksonville still.
Oh, he's in Jacksonville.
They had Marvin Jones.
Is that what it was? Okay. But you obviously
I
got
don't think
Jameson.
last season, though. I think Marvin Jones is already in Jacksonville.
I think
either way, they didn't really have anybody.
Yeah,
A bunch of rookies,
you got Jameson,
guys you don't really know.
You got Jameson Williams like coming in halfway through the season or whatever.
Yeah, and he's nursing an injury too, and that was a nice pickup for them. They got him late.
But they also got DeAndre Swift.
They beefed up their defense with drafting Aiden Hutchinson.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean Marvin Jones. I meant to say DJ Chark. I was confused.
Yes,
those two.
DJ Chark is the one they brought in
This year.
But he had injury issues last year as well, and so did Hockenson, which is why he ranked lower to me for that reason.
But
injuries.
But as I was saying, they had nothing but Hockenson. I think Hockenson
True.
was triple teamed. Like, that was the issue. Jay, your takes on Hawks are?
Basically, like, it's kind of like a recurring theme, I think, with tight ends. It's like he's another guy that could have potential, but he just hasn't like lived up to it really. And Jared Goff's his quarterback, so it kind of hurts him.
It does to a point. And like I said,
there's
Goff,
worse.
If we get the Goff that we saw go to the Super Bowl, he could be top 5.
But you're talking about
But
Goff,
even then, Goff didn't have a stellar season.
But you're talking about
was
Goff
good enough.
being bad, but we have Kittle ranked high, and you guys aren't sure about Trey Lance, and we have
He had Jimmy
Pitts,
Garoppolo.
we have Pitts ranked high with Marcus Mariota. So it's like Jared Goff's better than Marcus Mariota,
I would agree with
right?
that.
So it's like there's just that, and like I don't know. Did we talk about
Jared Goff
everybody's-
has better arm strength than Mariota does. which is why he can throw it down the field.
Yes.
And where Mariota can't, which is why Pitts ranks higher than Hawkinson all across the board.
I only have three spots between Pitts and Hawkinson for me, so
yeah, I mean,
you guys are higher on him.
You're right. I do too.
That's true. So I have.
Did I miss anybody's top 8 somewhere? Did we not go? Over
Zach Ertz is my 8.
Well, that's my 9. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do you have?
He's your 9.
So give me your 8, 9, 10 then.
So my 8,
9, 10, 11.
Well,
we already did
talk
8.
about it.
So Zach Ertz was 8 for me. 9 was Hawkinson. My 10 is Gesicki.
Okay, so
from Miami.
Okay, my 9 and 10 are Zach Ertz at 9 and Dallas Goedert at 10. Jay, what do you got at 9?
I got Goddard at 9 and Freiermuth at 10.
Okay, so we're all about in the same. Let's talk about Ertz. You don't have where's Ertz for you?
11.
Okay, so he's right there.
Okay, so he's close, and Goddard is 11 for me. So
we all have the same guys.
So we're pretty close.
And Freiermuth's 11 for me.
And he's my 13.
So we're all there. Okay, so let's focus on Ertz again. I got Ertz at 9.
I have Ertz at 8,
and you got Ertz
at 11.
Okay, so we're into that big white goofy tight end part.
Yes.
Of this. Zach Ertz to me is. He got traded halfway through the season. I was actually with you in Nashville the day he got traded.
Yes, we were together.
I remember that. I remember the excitement. I remember everyone being excited.
I remember picking him up that day.
Everyone is excited. It's going to unleash Goddard. He's going to get unleashed. And I actually think Ertz was way better.
Ertz was better in Arizona because Kyler Murray.
I think Ertz was better in Arizona than Goddard was in Philly.
Agreed, and it's because the running aspect of both quarterbacks, but Kyler Murray likes to chuck it when he's in trouble.
Yes.
And he looks for the guy when he's in trouble, which, having DeAndre Hopkins suspended and bringing over Marquise Brown, if he rolls out of the pocket like he always does, he's going to look for that deep throw to Brown. But if he doesn't see that, it's going to Ertz. And Ertz was another guy who had 8 touchdowns, I believe, if I remember off the top of my head. But he played 11 games in Arizona and had 500 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why
in Philadelphia that offense wasn't geared towards the tight ends.
Yes.
A little later on, Goddard had some success towards the end of the season because I had him on my fantasy team. He actually got me like 20 points that week. I think it was one of those 141-yard games or something like that. But Goddard ranks lower because of Jalen Hurts and their running ability, and they cycle their running backs. And now they have A.J. Brown and still Devonta Smith, and they're going to be hopefully a more pass-happy offense, but it's Jalen Hurts, and he likes to run.
Well, for me, Ertz, you could almost talk me into putting Ertz over Dawson Knox, just because of the situation he's in. It's almost like he's almost the Dalton Schultz situation, the same way. Mm-hmm. But he's older, and his heart broken people in fantasy for years. Everybody thought Ertz was the next Kelce. Everybody has been saying that forever. So it's just like you gotta remember that. To me, Ertz is the last guy that I would want starting. Any of these guys underneath him, for me, are dart throws. Jay, you have Ertz the lowest. You almost have Ertz as a not starting tight end. So you don't like him for some reason.
Yeah, I don't like him, but he's also got Kyler Murray, so I don't like Kyler Murray. So
yeah, but
and I think their offense is highly overrated.
Someone's got to catch the touchdown passes, especially with Hopkins out for 8.
6 games, I think he is.
6 or 8, I can't
believe
remember.
It's 6.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
That's quite a bit in the NFL. 6 games is a lot. And guys coming back from suspensions or injuries and that amount of time is, you have to get back into the groove of playing NFL games every Sunday. I don't care how long you've been there. If you miss that much time, your offense has already had time to get acclimated and to start buzzing. Throwing a guy in there that hasn't played.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it, I think, probably before on the podcast. Like, yeah, these guys coming back. He's coming back in 6 games. He's not going to be 100% at that 7th game or whatever.
Maybe,
but he's not coming off injury, which makes it a little easier for him to come in and play. But being suspended,
the timing
it doesn't matter. The timing is going to be off. DeAndre Hopkins is one of the best wide receivers in the league. We all know it. We saw it in Houston, and he didn't have anybody throwing him the ball until Deshaun Watson, there were years in there that they cycled 3-4 quarterbacks, and he still had 1,200 yards.
He had Brock Osweiler. I've been waiting to do that.
So, I mean, that's pretty much it about Ertz at my 8. We
well,
already talked about Hockenson at my 9.
And since we brought him up, he's my 10, Dallas Goedert. What is he
Goddard
for?
is 11 for me.
And what's he for you?
9.
9. So, okay.
So-
let's talk about him. You're the only one that has Goddard first over Ertz.
Yeah.
So why is that? We told you why we're taking, Ertz before Goddard. Why are you a Goddard guy?
I think Philly's going to be a little bit better, and I think I just trust him more.
Oh, it's hard for me to trust Goddard because he let so many people down last year because everybody thought once Ertz was gone, like, this is it. This guy's going to, like, explode and break out, and he didn't. And things only got worse for him because they brought in a monster animal wide receiver. So, like, who says he's going to even be the red zone guy now when you have A.J. Brown? That's scary for me.
Yeah.
That's scary for me with him. Like I said, I have him at 10, but I'm just not. I wouldn't.
I mean, these guys aren't like. I mean, we're getting in territory where you're not real confident with them anyway.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, so you're not really sold on it either way.
Yeah.
I don't want Dallas Goedert on my team. I just don't.
I don't either.
I just want to let him be somebody else's problem. I would take. I don't have it ranked that way, but my next one, 11's Freiermuth. If I'm sitting looking at both of them, if I went Freiermuth, I wouldn't be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked about it.
I have Freiermuth at 13.
Well, did
We'll
we
get
get through everybody's 10 at least?
My
right?
10 is Gesicki.
Okay, so that's the last.
So-
I got through your top 10.
Yeah.
So you got Gesicki at
I have
10.
Gesicki at 10.
Where do you got him?
14.
And then, and I got him at 12. So
Okay.
so let's go 10, 11, 12. For me, I'm sorry, 11, so 10, 11, 12 for you. And then for me and you, Jay, 11 and 12. I got Freiermuth 11, Gesicki at 12.
I got Ertz at 11 and Cole Kmet at 12.
Okay. You Bears motherfucker. And then what do you got up to 12?
So, like I said, Gesicki at 10. I have Goddard at 11. And I have... My 12 through 15 could literally be interchangeable, but I have listed here, my 12 is Hunter Henry.
Okay, so we'll go from there. So let's talk Freiermuth. I just said everything
Well, let's talk Gesicki.
You're right. Like this whole... I'm sorry. You're right. These guys are all the same. I'll tell you this. From what you said, me too. Basically, yeah. I mean, for me...
10 through 15, you could
let's just...
interchange
Even
them
10,
kind
yeah,
of.
I agree. Even 10, I would say I could go anywhere.
Let's just go... Jay, give me your 10 through 15.
Freiermuth, Ertz, Kmet, Logan Thomas, Gesicki, Irv Smith Jr.
Okay, so yours is a little different than mine. Jay,
Mine's very different.
Adam, what's your 10 through 15?
I have Gesicki at 10, Goddard 11, Hunter Henry at 12. I have Freiermuth, David Njoku, and then Tyler Higbee.
Okay, mine's a little different too. So I've got
This is open for discussion.
Dallas Goedert at 10, Freiermuth 11, Gesicki at 12, Hunter Henry at 13, Albert Okunwebom at 14, and Cole Kmet at 15.
Okuwebunam.
Whatever. Alberto, that's what we call him.
Yes, Alberto.
So let's talk Gesicki. I have him at 12.
I have him at 10.
14.
And
14, okay.
the reason is Tua.
As a good thing or a bad thing?
As a needs a
10's,
battle.
10's pretty high, yeah.
10 is high. He finished 11 last year. He can break the top 10. Bringing in Tyreek Hill and losing Devontae Parker. He's got to throw the ball somewhere. And it's not very far.
Still got Waddle.
And he's got Waddle. He finished top of the list too. Waddle did.
Yeah, Waddle was pretty good last year.
Yeah. So it's going to throw. It's just going to happen. And Gesicki is a good tight end for him. He throws short. He's not a deep guy. And we all know it. We saw Tua play. And we saw them play against the Bills, and I think we put up 40 each time.
You heard me say this on last week's. They built this offense around Tua perfectly.
They did. Yes, they did. They grabbed a huge trade from the Chiefs to get Tyreek Hill, who is a guy that if you get in space, good luck catching him.
We have seen that in Buffalo.
And we've seen that time after time. And Jalen Waddle is no slowpoke either. So he's a big guy that can make the contested catches when he needs to. And
they just put the Madden ratings out. Some things, I believe, Hill and Waddle are two of the top 5 receivers in speed, and their running back, Raheem Mostert's the fastest player in the game. So, I mean, they built speed around this guy.
Yes.
But we're not talking about the Dolphins. We're talking about Gesicki. You got anything to say about Gesicki? You have him the lowest, but did you just put him there? I mean, that's...
Yeah. He's like super streaky to me, so it's just like...
Yeah, he's ugly for me. I'm not excited about him. I'm really not excited about Freiermuth. I only have Freiermuth above him.
I'm not really excited about my 10 through 15 to begin with.
Yeah. Let's just touch on Freiermuth, whatever.
Touchdown dependent guy. New quarterback who has a better arm than aging Ben Roethlisberger. Also,
possibly a rookie.
We're looking at a guy that, or a rookie coming in who, yeah, exactly.
Now, there might be more opportunity for him because Juju's gone.
Juju's gone, but they have Claypool, they have Deontay Johnson. Those are your outside guys, and Freiermuth he's just a touchdown dependent tight end.
But maybe
I feel like the bottom
he has some
of these guys
potential this year.
Yeah, I think he does too. I think he has potential. I'm not buying it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being a top 6-7 tight end.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's
talk
focus
about Goddard already.
Let's focus on you with Cole Kmet. You have him super high.
12,
where do you have him?
12. I have Hunter Henry at 12.
Oh, well, where do you have Cole?
I don't have him on my list at all.
So he's not on your 15. He's 15 for me. Let's just clear the air. Jay's a Bears guy, just like I'm a Raiders guy. So he could be being a homer here. Sell me on Cole Kmet. 12.
I can't.
He's a starting tight end for you right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So sell me on him.
Yeah. I can't because, like I said, they're just whatever. Like
I think there's potential in Cole Kmet. He was a highly rated, early drafted tight end. He just has Justin Fields. Justin Fields was garbage.
New offense though for Fields, so I'm curious to see how that works. But he has Darnell Mooney and he showed flashes, and N'Keal Harry who was traded
somewhere.
Sure, that's why he's a decent.
We can say that about any of these guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And these guys got to throw the ball to somebody, and hopefully it's a tight end. And that's kind of what you're hoping for at these lower-ranked guys.
Well, let's talk about the ultimate touchdown-dependent tight end, Hunter Hurst Henry. Where do you have him?
I don't.
You don't have him. Okay.
I have him at 12.
And I have him at 13.
Okay.
I talked about him last week. I mean, he's the kind of guy, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 1 yard. But that's a big game from a tight end sometimes.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, you're not getting 20 points like you are from Kelce.
No, but you're not expecting that.
But you're not expecting that from these guys. So are you okay with 8 to 12 points from this kind of tight end?
That Hunter Henry beat of us all in fantasy last year just because of his big splash games like that. Because just comes out of nowhere.
Less than 500 yards. I mean, he also has Matt Jones.
Who's going to be better? It's a second year.
In theory, should be better.
He's not great, but he's going to be
I hate the Patriots, and I don't give a shit what they do. But Hunter Henry has to be on the list. He did rank 7th last year in tight ends. Yeah. So being this low on the list, it is because he's very touchdown dependent.
To me, that's a value.
So a guy that relies on catching touchdowns, he could make my fantasy team if I'm desperate for a tight end late in the draft. If I don't get my top 10.
Jay, I want you to sell me on Irv Smith. I know you got him in your top 15. I like him too. I like the talent. I like his position. I like where he's, but I didn't put him in my top 15. So sell me on him. Why should he be in my top 15?
I think the Minnesota offense is usually pretty good.
And I think it's going to be better.
Yeah. And Cousins is solid year after year. So
he's one of those guys that's quietly ranked pretty highly.
And he doesn't have
4,000 yards plus.
He doesn't have Conklin.
Yeah.
He doesn't have Conklin anymore ahead of him. Jay's fantasy crush, Thielen's getting older. This guy's a young, athletic tight end coming off an injury. I didn't put him in my top 15. Wouldn't be surprised if he's a top 10 tight end, though.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I could agree.
Do you have someone in your top 15 that you want to bring up that we talk
David
about?
Njoku.
Okay, yes. Tell me about
I have Njoku in here, and he didn't play a lot last year, but he was still ranked the 20th tight end.
Former first-round pick.
By the way, there's 32 teams in the NFL, yeah. So being ranked 20, not great, not the worst.
Right.
But no Deshaun Watson. You're looking at Brisket.
Which is disgusting.
Jacoby Brisket throwing the ball. Now they have Amari Cooper, but who cares? We all know none of us are Cooper fans here.
No.
No Higgins. Donovan Peoples-Jones is your next guy.
Right, you're right.
And Njoku got a nice contract, and they better use him. I could see Njoku being higher, but he's still in my top 15 based on the quarterback throwing him the ball who utilizes his tight ends.
This is Njoku's 5th year. How has it not happened yet?
I agree. And another guy that's ranked highly by experts, outside of us.
Well, we're the experts.
We are the experts. But in my top 15, and like I said, he didn't play too much, or maybe he did and was just, and even Austin Hooper, who was there last year, I think Njoku has a higher ceiling, and I'm a big ceiling guy when it comes to fantasy football. If I can see that you could get me 15 to 20 points, or you can get me 5 to 10 points. So, based on that, and like I said, you can't ignore the fact that there's nobody to throw to.
So, I'm sure you guys want to hear about my 14th overall, Albert O.
I have him in my honorable mention.
Okay, so the reason
we probably think the same way.
Well, the reason I want to talk about him is he's super young. He's only 24 years
25.
old. And his career so far has been pretty decent. I mean, he outplayed Noah Fant. Noah Fant's a first-round pick. This guy outplayed Noah Fant so much that they fucking shipped him off with Drew Lock to go to. So now he's the number 1 tight end when he comes back from injury.
And a new quarterback.
New quarterback, Russell Wilson.
Really likes his tight ends.
Not really. That's the scary part.
Well, okay, think about it this way. He had a really good tight end in Jimmy Graham, and Jimmy Graham had
his down years,
90 to 100 targets still in Seattle.
I've been thinking about that's the only tight end that was ever good with him.
I agree.
But, that big white guy.
When you get DK Metcalf and you have Tyler Lockett, you don't tend to use your tight ends as much.
I think he could be a big breakout, especially...
I think he can too, which is why I have him in my, not top 15, but could be.
Yeah, he could be... I wouldn't be surprised if he finished top 10.
I agree.
Did you have anything to say about Alberto? You're not too familiar? Okay, so give me... because we're getting a little long on time here, we still got to do the draft. Just give me 2 sleepers out of your top 15.
I have Mo Alley Cox, Cameron Brate.
Okay,
and I'll tell you why.
Cameron Brate, I'm not buying, but go ahead.
Mo Alley Cox, new quarterback in Indianapolis with Matt Ryan, who used his tight ends. Michael Pittman is their guy, but they lost a couple of their secondary receivers.
I can see Mo
Alley Cox.
Monster.
Having a good year. He can probably... And he's a big dude.
I think he's like the biggest tight end in the league. He's a monster.
And Cameron Brate is just because he has Tom Brady as his quarterback and no Gronk, no O.J. Howard to hold him back.
In all the games that Gronk missed last year, which was quite a handful.
He missed 5 games.
I believe Cameron Brate had 4 catches in the total of those 5
You're
games.
Probably right.
So that's why I can't buy it.
But, yeah, okay. So Rob Gronkowski only played 12 games and still came top 5.
Yeah.
He was 5.
Gronkowski.
So... that,
don't forget he's going to unretire from the
halfway through the season, probably when they need him. But no Godwin for half the season because he's nursing an injury. Allegedly, he says he's going to be good, but I don't buy it.
To see.
Got to throw the ball somewhere.
It's
just going to be the recurring theme of the tight end list is you got to throw the ball somewhere.
I just can't buy Bray, but okay, Jay, give me your 2 sleepers.
One sleeper in my top 15 was Logan Thomas, and then a guy outside is Everett from the Chargers.
Sure.
Okay.
Charger. They brought him in.
Yep.
Yeah, they brought him. No. Is he on the Chargers? Or did he go to
Seattle?
Everett? Or he was in Seattle.
He's
in Seattle.
He might be Seattle still.
He's on the Chargers.
No, he went to the Chargers.
You're right. He was in Seattle.
He was in Seattle. Went to the Chargers in offseason
because they got Noah Fant now.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, that's the Super Bowl champs. But Higbee's there. Higbee was okay last year.
I have Higbee as my 15 for that reason.
Yeah.
Another touchdown-dependent guy.
He was someone I was excited about last year, and he just didn't deliver.
Yeah. Yep.
My 2 off the cuff out of my top 15 guys that wouldn't be surprising is a guy you brought up earlier, Austin Hooper.
I had him on my list at one point, but I took him off.
He's now in Tennessee.
I fucking hate Tennessee.
Well, he's now in Tennessee, who lost A.J. Brown. They got a hurt Robert Woods coming in and an asthmatic Treylon Burks coming in.
I did have him on my mind and could be top 15, and based on that, losing A.J. Brown, having Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback, and you have Derrick Henry, so...
And I'll tell you one guy that I got here who Jay's going to hate this, and everyone listening is going to hate it, but it's a super talented guy, one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time at tight end, new team, one of the best options on the team because the team's dog water, and that's Evan Ingram going over to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I was going to put him on my list as well, and as long as Trevor Lawrence makes the jump, and Evan Ingram is a beast.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. He's a great contested catch
Athletic.
guy. As long as he stays on the field, they have a very solid option at tight end.
So, and plus you're right.
And I think Jacksonville is one of those teams that I'm excited to watch. Not excited because it's Jacksonville, but they're another team that could improve greatly. They played under Urban Meyer.
Well,
Terrible. New coach, new system.
want to see where the blonde bomber goes.
Exactly.
So I just think he's a sleeper guy on that. Jay, I don't think likes Evan Ingram very much.
I'm fine with that. I kind of have Evan Ingram like just outside mine.
Yeah,
15,
so he's just someone to look at. You're only starting 12. We gave you guys about 7. Well, we gave you guys about 20 options.
We gave top 15, top 20-ish.
It's a scary position, but I think there's.
It is.
To me, where's your just to wrap this up? Where's your comfort level? For me, it ends at 9 with Zach Ertz. After Zach Ertz, it's downhill. It's almost dart throws. What about for
If
you?
I got anybody in my top 10, I'd be stoked. And my top 10 rounds out with.
Give me your top 10 again.
So I have Kelce, Andrews, Waller, Kittle, Pitts, Schultz, Knox, Ertz. Wow, that's a lot to say.
Yeah.
Hawkinson and Gesicki is
So
my
you'd be
10.
happy up
So
to
I'd be
Gesicki.
happy with any one of those guys. Anything after that, it's
Sure,
just
dart throws.
plug and play.
Jay, where does your comfort level at?
For me, probably like 8.
Okay, so give me your top 10,
8.
though. Give me your top 10.
Kelsey, Waller, Andrews, Kittle, Knox, Pitts, Schultz, Hawkinson, Goddard, Freiermuth.
So you're ended like Hawkinson. That's
Yeah.
where you're coming from. For me, my it ends at 9 for me, but here's my top 10. Kelsey, Andrews, Waller, Pitts, Kittle, Schultz, Hawkinson, Knox, Ertz. That's where it ends for me, and Goddard's at 10. But again, dart those after that. All right, we're right where I want it to be time-wise to get ready for our mock draft. Anything to say about tight ends, guys?
I don't think so. I think we covered the most important ones.
But what's your strategy?
think-
You're going after one of the big ones, or you're a waiter?
It depends on where you draft.
Yeah, I guess it's
Yeah.
So depending on where I draft, it could be Travis Kelce. If you're later on in the first round, maybe you kind of loop around into the second round if he's available. I know in a lot of the mock drafts that I've done, he's gone in the back half of the first round. So
Who are you eyeballing? Obviously, we have our ranks, but like, who's like your guy? Who are you going after? Like, I'm going to get this guy, even if I got to go around early. I'm going to get this guy.
I would probably go with Waller.
Waller?
Simply because of the targets that he gets.
Waller.
Well, dude, me too.
And he's just going to be
So-
that guy. So
And I think that reflects our rankings because
I agree.
we all have him high, and a lot more people have Waller at like 5.
Mm-hmm.
We all have him at 2 or 3. So makes sense. Waller's the guy I'm going after. Fuck you, Jay. I know your strategy now. But all right, that's all I got to say about tight end. So we're going to set up our mock draft, and we'll be back right after this break. That you're not going to hear anything. So we'll be back. All right, guys, we have got the draft board set up. If any of y'all at home need a fun and easy way to do a quick mock draft, oh yeah, go ahead and check out the Sleeper app. It's a really cool, easy draft. Adam's never used it. Jay's never used it. It's fun. I've been in leagues in it before, but for this mock draft thing, basically what we're looking at, folks, is a PPR mock draft, 12 teams. PPR 2-2-1, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex, tight end, quarterback, blah blah. Defense. We've got a special guest doing the draft. He's not going to be on the pod with us, but he's doing it live with us from his house, so you can do these drafts with friends. It's fun. I'm picking first. Adam's picking 12th, and we got Jay and our buddy Chad picking right in the middle, 5 and 6. So you guys can see how these drafts unfold and everything like that. You guys got any questions on how to do this?
I think I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay, we're going to hit start draft now. Are you sure you want to start the draft? Yes, that's why I hit start draft. And I'm on the clock.
On the clock, Chaz,
So-
your number 1 overall pick.
I told you guys that I would consider taking Derrick Henry first overall. I'm going to go scratch here. I'm going to go scratch here and take Jonathan Taylor. But in a real draft, I might consider Derrick Henry. We're going to go scratch. We're going to take JT. And watch how fast this goes, at least for me. Second overall was Derrick Henry. Cooper Kupp went third. Christian McCaffrey went fourth. We're on the board to Jay Coleman. So, Jay, you lost Taylor, Henry, Kupp, McCaffrey. What are you thinking?
I think I'm going with Austin Eckler here.
Going to Austin Eckler. Great pick. Can't Can't pass that up. We got Chad on the clock now from home. If he takes too long, at least it's only 2 minutes. Great. I mean, look at that first five. Taylor, Henry, Kupp, McCaffrey, Eckler. That's pretty scratch. And Chad went Justin Jefferson. So not surprising. That's who should have went. So let's go through this. We went Justin Jefferson 6, Joe Mixon 7, Travis Kelce 8. We got Dalvin Cook 9, which is a steal. Najee Harris 10, Jamar Chase 11. We're looking at Adam for back-to-back picks. The top picks on my board are both receivers. What are you thinking?
I have 2 receivers on my top as well, and we should all have the same list because we're all in the same draft.
But I mean, it's your draft.
But being at 12, you pick back-to-back. You're on the bookends, we call it in the fantasy world. You really have to make these 2 count because you don't have another pick for 22 picks, and it's.
Well, you still got a minute and a half here.
So
taking Devontae Adams and Diggs are making them count.
Correct.
But you're waiting a long time for quarterback. Or running back, I mean.
No, and here's why. Is because there's not that many running backs that will make it back to me in rounds 3 and 4 when I would pick next. Sure. So my thought process here is pick one of each.
Well, give us that first pick.
So my first pick here is going to be Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb, okay.
And the reason being is because even though he splits time with Kareem Hunt, he is the bell cow there.
Good choice.
And I'm taking Nick Chubb. And like I said,
you're going either Adams or Diggs, right?
My thought process here is to get one of each running back and receiver. Receivers, and a lot of the times I lean more towards the running back here as well because receivers are all over the place.
Yes.
And there's not that many running backs that are going to...
But you have 2 monsters here.
I do have the choice for 2 really good wide receivers. Could I get another really good wide receiver at 3?
Well, Jay wants Devontae Adams to fall to him. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, and here's why. Because I'm not going to pick Adams, but I am going to pick Diggs here. And it's the Buffalo Bills offense. And
all right.
There we go.
So, now, this shows you everything I've been saying about how mock drafts are going. See? Okay. So Adam started off with Nick Chubb, started off the second round with Stephon Diggs. Then we went CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, my boy DeAndre Swift, Tyreek Hill, and Team 7 took Josh Allen. So we got Chad is on the clock picking from home. Josh Allen, second pick in the 7th round. And this wasn't one of us. This was an ADP pick.
Yes.
So that's showing where all these mock drafts where people are taking Josh Allen. 7th pick of the 2nd round. So actually, 6th pick of the 2nd round?
Yeah. So my guess is that for all of you listeners, Saquon Barkley was just chosen by Chad, and that hurts Chaz's soul very much.
My 2 running back crushes went in the 2nd round, back to back. Well, not back to back, back to back running backs. DeAndre Swift and Sweet. So think about that. Saquon Barkley went 7th pick in the 2nd round. If I could have got him at my swing, obviously I would have taken him, but it's gone.
As I was saying, and I'm sorry, Jay, I don't mean to cut your time off, but I'm guessing that this takes an average of where these players were drafted, all mock drafts throughout the entire app.
So this is from normal people doing drafts, so not experts per se, and this is how home leagues go. Jay got 1:20 on the clock. It started with Eckler. What you looking at?
Running backs are king. Every year that I've been in fantasy, I'm going with Alvin Kamara here.
So that 6-game suspension, though. So, okay, not gonna dig that choice. You better look into getting Mark Ingram later before I take him. All right, so Jay went Alvin Kamara with the.
So did the suspension come down?
Not yet
on Kamara already. Okay,
but here's the rest. So Jay went Alvin Kamara. We went Debo Samuel, Ron Jones, and Mike Evans. And to finish off the 2nd round, we got me, baby, me.
No suspension, so I'm going with Kamara there. It's not handed down yet, so I'm going as if it's not.
Fair enough. I'm starting the 2nd round. I've got a lot of things I'm looking at here. A lot of great PPR receivers still there. A lot of running back spotties that are here. You know who's still here, guys? Is Mark Andrews. You know who I'm not drafting here, guys? Mark Andrews. Okay, so I don't really like a lot of what's going on here, to be honest. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going running back heavy, guys. And this is what I'm doing here. I'm just going to start off. I got Jonathan Taylor in the 1st round. I'm taking Lombardi, Leonard Fournette, and back-to-back picks with Ezekiel Elliott. So my first 3 picks were Jonathan Taylor, Leonard Fournette, Ezekiel Elliott. Now, to set the table...
You better hope Leonard Fournette loses that extra 30
That's fine. I got
pounds
monsters. Mark Andrews went the next pick. Kyle Pitts went the next pick. Javonte Williams went the next pick. Jay, you started 2 running backs. What are you looking at? You going those 3? You looking into the receiver now?
I'm going to go receiver here.
In the 3rd round, and there are 15 running backs taken.
Right. So
there are 32 starting running backs in the NFL. 15 of them have been taken in less than 3 rounds.
So, Jay,
keep that in mind.
You're looking at receivers. You got A.J. Brown, Keenan Allen, T. Higgins, Deontay
I'm
Johnson.
going Keenan Allen.
That's the right pick.
I agree.
That's the right pick there.
If he's there, he's a beast.
Chad's on the clock at home. Jay, your starters: Austin Eckler, Alvin Kamara, Keenan Allen. Great start.
I'm happy with that start.
Great start. Now for me, I purposely did this because I got 3 banger running backs. Now, I said it earlier, receivers are going to fall. So let me see if I'm right. But receivers started going. Chad took Terry McLaurin. Team 7 took A.J. Brown. Then we went on a quarterback run. Mahomes, Herbert, Kittle, David Montgomery were on the board with Adam here for 2 picks. You got Chubb and Diggs.
I hate the David Montgomery pick at 11. I know it's generated, but it's way too early.
See, I don't think that's a bad pick there, honestly.
Maybe.
You're taking him over what? James Conner there?
You're taking him over Connor.
I'd take him over all these guys, honestly.
So here's my thing. I have a great running back. I have a great wide receiver. The guy that we talked about before, still on the board, Darren Waller. And being in the 3rd round, I'm taking Darren Waller here.
I knew that was coming.
I am solidifying my beast tight end. And now here is where it gets tricky because now I'm looking for either a second wide receiver or a second running back based on what is here.
So you're not looking at a QB?
I'm not looking at a QB yet. The big 3 that I would draft, Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, gone. Don't care anymore. There are a lot of guys that you can get late that will be just as good, if not better, for fantasy purposes. So for here, I'm going to pair my starting running back with my second running back, and I'm going to take James Conner here. And he no longer has to fight with Chase Edmonds. And he did lead the league in rushing touchdowns last year.
Which I don't think is going to happen again.
We'll see.
But you didn't have a lot of options,
right?
To be honest. Because after that, we went T. Higgins, Antonio Gibson, Cam Akers, who I'm out on, Michael Pittman, great pick, Breece Hall in the fucking 4th round. Get out of here with the Jets rookie. And then over back at home, we got Travis Etienne off the board, who I'm scared of a little bit. But we're on the board to Jay now. Jay, what are your thoughts? You got 2 running backs. You got a receiver. You're thinking receiver?
I don't know what I'm going to do here yet. It's either receiver or running back here.
So not looking at
all of our top 5 tight ends that we just ranked are gone.
Gone. Also, Jay, don't forget you got a flex, right? So you could put your running back in there.
I'm going to go with Waddle here.
Great pick. I'm pissed.
In the 4th round, I agree.
I am so
and
pissed.
And there goes
right
Lamar
now.
Jackson.
Because Waddle would have been my guy, or Johnson, but that's who just went.
Johnson.
Waddle went.
Jackson.
Deontay went. Jackson went. Lamar Jackson, who I was considering, and Josh
Jacobs. I think a lot of people are sleeping on too. And
I was between Waddle and Josh Jacobs.
I actually thought about taking Jacobs for my pick as opposed to James Conner, but based on the touchdown and not having Chase Edmonds there to fight for the starting position,
right?
I'm okay with James Conner.
Now we're back to me for 2. A lot of our big tight ends are gone. We still got Schultz around, Ertz, Knox.
So, Chaz, you went running back heavy.
Went running back heavy. So
3 running backs off the bat.
And that's great because the best running back available right now is J.K. Dobbins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Miles Sanders. Nah. I'm comfortable where I am with my 3 running backs.
You absolutely should be.
So looking at quarterbacks here, I still got a minute. Okay. You got Burrow, Murray, Hurts, Wilson, Prescott, Brady. Still a lot of good options out there. I know all of us need a QB. I'm not taking a QB these next 2 weeks. Easily for me, right here, my number 1 quarterback my number 1 receiver, with the quarterback upgrade. I'm happy with, I'm comfortable with DJ Moore here. And I'm going to pair him back-to-back with one of the most exciting big play and injured receivers in the league with Mike Williams. So
I'm okay with that.
Right now, I'm looking at
a big contract.
Jonathan Taylor, Leonard Fournette, Zeke, DJ Moore, Mike Williams. I'm happy with that. After that, we went on a receiver run. DK Metcalf, Big Booty Judy, Marquise Brown. Jay, we're on to you. You got 2 and 2.
That's a good pick for Marquise Brown there.
I like Marquise. I was considering where I was. It was either going to be him or DJ Moore, but I like DJ.
A lot of the mock drafts that I've done through Yahoo and other draft sites, Marquise Brown has fallen way later than that.
Yes,
so seeing him here in the 5th round kind of makes me a little nervous that I might have to reach for him.
Which is good to do, because now
right.
You figure it out. What are your thoughts, Jay? You're 2 and 2. Are you going into the tight end realm yet?
No.
No? You going to the QB realm yet?
None of the tight ends there are interesting to you at this position.
Nobody's went at tight end since the 2nd round.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm still not interested.
3rd round.
3rd round.
Yeah.
I think I don't normally go this early with QB, but I'm taking Burrow.
Okay, Burrow's sitting there. Why not?
That's a good pick. He had a great year.
Not for me there. It's too early for me. He's not going to be that high in my rank.
It's still early for a quarterback for me. Like I said,
I don't know if it's too early for a quarterback. I think it's too early for him.
It's too early for a quarterback for me normally, but...
You like him? You have a feeling? Get him. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. If Lamar Jackson would have fell, I would have taken him where I was. Yeah. But he didn't, so got to move on. Roll with the punches. I noticed you didn't take the guy from the Cardinals there, Kyler Murray.
No, absolutely not.
No Kyler.
So we're waiting on Chad at home. Chad's probably playing Tarkov right now on his PC and not paying attention. Then he's going to be pissy if he gets auto-drafted. Oh, there he goes. He went J.K. Dobbins.
He went Dobbins.
Okay, so here let Adam's on the clock. Let's set the draft after Joe Burrow. We went J.K. Dobbins, Elijah Mitchell, Allen Robinson, Amari Cooper, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Cortland Sutton. Now we're on to you. Let's set your team real quick.
So I started with Nick Chubb.
Okay.
My next pick was Stephon Diggs. Now I'm on the bookends, so my picks were back to back.
Yep.
Nick Chubb, Stephon Diggs, Darren Waller.
Love your first 3 picks.
James Conner.
Did what you can.
A little bit of a reach there, maybe.
No, but I just don't like him.
That's about right for him.
I don't think it's a bad pick.
He had some injury problems, not as.
Let's put it this way. I
prominent
don't think
like
it's a bad pick. It's a bad pick for me. That's all.
So here's what I'm thinking. I only have one wide receiver, but I'm okay with that. And here's why: is because I know that there are receivers out there that will fall in later rounds. Oh yeah! So here, I am potentially looking at a quarterback, and in the 5th round, I don't think it's too much of a stretch, but I am going to take Jalen Hurts here, and he's as a fantasy monster because he takes a lot of rushing touchdowns and he runs a lot.
Great pick. Jay hates him, but great pick.
I am not a fan of taking quarterbacks that early.
So you took him over Kyler.
But I took him over Kyler because I think Jalen Hurts is the better runner.
Interesting. Okay. I do too.
He's not the better passer, but I think with A.J. Brown, their offense got better. So that's where I'm at with Jalen Hurts on that pick in the 5th round. So on to the 6th round, and also still not looking at wide receivers. There are guys that will fall, most likely. So here I'm looking at another running back. And there are still some pretty decent running backs out there. Not great, but they're not the worst in the world. I'm actually going to take A.J. Dillon here. He split time with Aaron Jones and is just an absolute beast.
Did we all see him truck that mascot?
Yes, I did see that video, and I think it's fantastic. But he's also I follow him on Twitter, and if you guys don't, please do because this guy is incredible. He was at practice, and there was a tour going on at Lambeau, and he took time out of his day to go meet the fans and take pictures and. The guy's just awesome.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
AJ Dillon, if you're listening, follow me back, dude.
I'm a big fan. So you went Hurts and Dillon. Here are the next picks, and we're up to Chad. Oh, no, Chad went quick. It's up to Jay. All right, here are the next picks. Adam took Hurts and Dillon. Then we went Teddy Hawkinson, Chris Godwin, Damian Harris, Miles Sanders, Michael Thomas, Dalton Schultz, and we're on the clock with you, Jay.
All right. There's no. I would go with a running back if there was something decent here, but there's not. So I am going with Adam Thielen.
Not surprising, everybody, that Jay went with Adam Thielen. That's fine.
That's a good pick.
Next pick, we had Kyler Murray. We had Brandon Cooks. We had Ken Walker. By the way, he officially wants his to be called Ken Walker, not Kenneth.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys saw that. So Ken Walker. Now we're back to me. I went 3-2. I am on the clock. We've got receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Darnell Mooney, Hopkins, Juju available. We still got some tight ends, Goddard, Ertz, Knox, Freiermuth. We still got some running backs, Hunt, Patterson, Pollard, Singletary. We still got some QBs, Wilson, Prescott, Brady. Me, oh man.
There were some good names in there, but
I'm thinking
end of the 6th round here.
Oh, I know. This is tough.
You need a tight end. Are you going tight end here? You need a quarterback. Are you going quarterback?
Well, I'm taking who I think is the best flex option in the NFL, even though I got a flex right now. And I just like the guy. I like his abilities. It's going to sound crazy because I already have 3 running backs drafted. But I'm going Kareem Hunt. Put him on my team.
That's great.
I think he's a great person to have on your team. I don't need to worry about running back for the rest of the draft. I'm all set. So now, am I going tight end here? I'm not sold on any of these guys, as we said. Receiver-wise, I don't like any of these fucking guys either.
Those noises that you are hearing are, we call those panic picks.
Not going to panic.
He doesn't know what he's going to do yet.
Not going to panic. I'm not going to panic. Stay the course. Just
Trust the process.
Trust the process. You know what I'm going to do? I love my team. I think it's solid. And I think this is a home run pick because I'm going to get some receivers later as well. This guy I feel is a steal for the later of the year. I'm going DeAndre Hopkins here.
That is a good pick there, and he's going to be solid when he comes back.
Yeah. So I mean,
not on injury again. He's on suspension, but
I gambled.
It is a gamble, but you also have 2 solid receivers.
I know I'm going to get
in his place in the meantime.
I know I'm going to get a quarterback that I want. The tight ends, I'm probably not going to get one of the ones I want, but that's fine because I got great receivers and we'll make it work. We just talked about tight ends, but after Hopkins went, then we went Russell Wilson, Cordero Patterson, Darnell Mooney. Jay, you are on the clock. You want me to set your team for you? Let's talk about it. You got Eckler, Kamara, Allen, Waddle, Burrow, Thielen. Loving your draft so far.
Really
what are
solid.
you thinking?
Those first 4 picks, money. I would absolutely be happy with that.
Are you thinking tight end now?
Can I give you my opinion?
Yes.
Having the Alvin Kamara pick is great, but knowing that he is potentially going to get suspended, my personal opinion would go running back here.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling.
No.
Plus, like it's like I've said earlier, fantasy is dominated by running backs.
Yes, it
True.
is.
You're at the point now where you're at mostly backups, but you're at the high value backup right now. You got Tony Pollard, Devin Singletary, Chase Edmonds, Rashad Penny, James Cook. Well, technically Singletary is a starter.
Yeah.
But Cook could be. So you don't know. You're to toss up at that position. So I went and took Hunt instead of Pollard backing up my Zeke, right? So maybe you can end up with Pollard backing up.
I could.
Knows,
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
It's interesting.
There are other guys out there that I would take over.
I'm taking Singletary.
Okay, Singletary. That's a
good
great
pick. And to start the season, Singletary is definitely going to be the starter.
No, unless,
is he going to? The hope is that he can pick up the momentum that he had at the end of the season,
which was great,
which was fantastic.
Now, unless Adam takes him, would you take Cook coming back?
Possibly, I would consider
Chad
it.
went Gabriel Davis there.
So Chad went Gabriel Davis.
Rising.
No, because look, over Juju, I would take Davis over
Juju. Yes.
We had a quarterback run too. We lost Dallas Goedert, Dak Prescott, Tom Brady. So now you're on the clock.
Okay, so hold on. Jay, you went Singletary, Chad went Davis, then we went Juju, Tony Pollard, Dallas Goedert, Dak Prescott, Tom Brady. So I'm on the clock again, round 7, and I'm looking at wide receivers here. I know there are some guys that could help my team here.
Here's your top few on this list. Amon-Ra, Drake London, Rashad Bateman, Treylon Burks, Devontae Smith, Elijah Moore.
So And somebody you didn't mention is Hunter Renfrow.
Okay, he's right underneath.
He's right underneath Elijah Moore here on this list.
And these are
this
sleepers rankings, not ours.
These are not our rankings. These are what is given to me based on what other people were drafting. So here's where I start to think value as well. 7th and 8th round. Okay, I have to make my picks in a certain order because of that. So where am I? 7th. So in the 7th round, I am going to take a sure guy in Hunter Renfrow.
Good pick.
Yep, good pick.
I love Hunter Renfrow.
And
somebody I like more, but that's okay.
now, what I'm going to do is hope to God that this guy is as good as we all think he should be. I'm not taking Tyler Lockett because fuck that guy. But I'm going to go with Drake London here. And the only reason why is because of his
Let's just be clear.
potential.
Over Amon-Ra St. Brown, right?
Over Amon-Ra because I'm still not high on the Lions. Not that I'm high on the Falcons either. But Mariota's got to throw the ball to somebody.
So we're going
And it's
with
going to be
Drake.
Pitts in London. So I'm going to take Drake London there.
So you went Hunter Renfrow, Drake London. Great.
And those are my two
Woo.
receivers back to back.
Okay.
Another little receiver run there.
Well, we went Chase Edmonds, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Traylon Burks, Rashad Bateman. Jay's heart got broken because Dawson Knox went, and then Chad from home took Matthew Stafford. That's a great pick there.
Great pick there.
I'm the only one without a quarterback, and I'm going to get the one I want. So, now we're on to you, Jay Coleman. Your last two picks were Thielen and Singletary.
Every team on this draft has a quarterback, so
I'm going to get the guy I want.
now, so for anybody wondering, in case you didn't know, Chaz literally can have his pick with anybody. He already knows this guy's going to be there. Quarterback is not in the next couple picks.
Well, not necessarily, because some people start taking backups. There's
True,
two
but not
guys
very
I'm
many.
heavy. There's two guys I'm heavy on. There's four guys. There's two guys I'm heavy on. Two more guys that I'm on. Like not but two guys that I'm kind of heavy on. If I'm going to get one of the ones I'm heavy on, if I could get both, that'd be great. Because you're to the point now where I like to take two. But anyway, Jay, it's your pick. What do you think? Sorry,
I'm going Cook.
James Cook. That's what I set up for you. So you got the Bills starting backfield.
Yes.
Which is great.
Another wide receiver run there.
So we went. See, this is where I didn't screw myself, but we went James Cook, Elijah Moore, who I would have taken, Garrett Wilson, who I don't like, Devontae Smith, another guy who I would have taken. So I'm going to take the guy that I've been praising, that I said I was going to draft, and he's going to be my starting
Rodgers?
quarterback. Nope. And that is going to. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong spot. Okay, that would be Trey Lance. We're bringing him to my team. Everything you said about Jalen Hurts, you can apply to Trey Lance. So, and I got him 3 rounds later.
I hope we do see more of Trey Lance.
Right.
Like I said, I'm not a 49ers fan, but I'm also not a Garoppolo fan. I know that they went to the Super Bowl. I know they've been NFC champions for however many years in a row. We need to see more Trey Lance before I'm sold on him.
Here's the thing for me. I told you where my list ends of startable tight ends.
You did.
And I'm getting my final one, getting Zach Ertz on the team.
There you go.
So I got Trey Lance and Zach Ertz. Every team's got a QB. There's 3 more guys still at QB. If one of these 3 guys there on my next 2 picks, I'm going to take one of them because I'm not sold completely on Trey Lance. So I would like somebody decent to back him up. So that's how I look at it there. After Trey Lance, I took Zach Ertz. Then we went Tyler Lockett, Brandon Ayuk, Mike Gesicki. Jay, we're on to you. What's your thinking here? You haven't got your tight end yet.
No, I haven't. And I think I'm gonna.
I mean, at this point, you might as well wait.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because I mean, you're gonna reach for the next best one, so you might as well wait.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I think I'm just gonna fill out my wide receiver. I'm gonna
There
take
you go.
Chris Olave.
Chris, a great pick there. I was considering him over Zach Ertz there, but what talked me off the ledge is I'm going to start Zach Ertz. I'm probably not going to
Absolutely.
start Chris Olave. So that's why I made that decision. But it was the same thing for you. So, but Zach Ertz I valued.
Yeah.
I didn't value anybody else. If Zach Ertz was there, would you have taken him
Yeah.
instead? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I just beat you to it. So we're waiting on Chad at home. Let's set Chad's team right here since we haven't really talked about him. Chad start. Jefferson, Barkley, McLaurin, ETN, Dobbins, Schultz, Gabe Davis, Stafford. He just took Russell Gage. I like Chad's team. Did good.
I like his team to a point. I am not sold on any of his running backs. I know J.K. Dobbins is Knox is coming off of injury, but we don't know how he's going to be.
About Saquon Barkley.
Barkley, I would have taken for my team. I probably wouldn't have taken him. I wasn't going to take him at 12 or 13.
No, you can't do that. I agree.
His pick at, what was it, 17, 18? I'm okay with that there.
So Jay took Chris Olave, then we went Russell Gage, Rashad Penny. That's a fucking value. If I didn't have so many running backs, I would have taken
a steal.
That is a steal.
Chris Carson is dog shit.
I
like Melvin Gordon there as well. Another steal. Even though Javonte Williams is there, they're going to split time.
We got some backup quarterbacks going because Aaron
I did see Aaron Rodgers go. Okay.
As a backup.
So to me...
Well, hang on. Robert Woods, Pat Fryermuth, Melvin Gordon. Now we're up to you. You got your quarterback. You got your... Mind you, guys, I mean, we're not those kind of guys, but tight end or kickers and defense apply. Yep. None have went yet. Don't forget, those apply. So you're looking at 3 receivers, 3 backs, and then the quarterback and tight end, right?
Correct.
So what are you thinking? So you have your flex already.
I do have my flex. I do have some guys here. A lot of the guys that I was going to take were taken. So here I'm just going to continue on with my wide receiver picks here. I'm just going to take Claypool, starting guy, new quarterback, Hopefully Trubisky can get him the ball.
Good pick. We're Trubisky fans here.
So we are Trubisky fans here, him being in Buffalo. So now I just went on a 3 wide receiver run. I'm probably looking somewhere else. And unfortunately, I really don't like anybody left. So I'm looking at, honestly, probably a defense here. And I'm going to go with the number 1 defense. And I'm going to go with the Bills.
Okay.
And like I said, the reason being is I like my running backs. I like my wide receivers. Like my quarterback and my tight end, and I don't like anybody that's currently there. So I'm hoping that some of those guys get knocked off, and I can look at value coming into the 11th and 12th round.
You're hoping to start the defense run.
Correct.
And get better players on the backs.
It's probably a little early for a defense, but when you really don't like anything out there, I'm taking the number 1 defense overall, and I'm going with the Buffalo Bills.
All right, after that, we went 2 Green Bay receivers back-to-back, Alan Lazard and Christian Watson. Then we went the richest quarterback in the NFL, Christian Kirk. Then we went Michael Carter, who's a very underrated pass-catching back. Sky Moore, one of my favorite rookies from KC, coming in, and Chad's on the clock at home.
See, I think Michael Carter should have gone before Breece Hall.
I don't, but I like
I don't like the Jets. I don't give a fuck.
Easy. JC Money's listening.
Good. Let him.
So Chad here, he's going to make his pick. He's got a minute, and then Jay's up. Jay, you're going to pull your tight end next. Chad's not listening live.
Possibly.
Your boy Cole Kmet's still there. So is your boy Earth. So you got to think about it but the guys ahead of you all have tight ends too. Are you willing to wait? What if somebody takes the backup and you get screwed, right? That's what you got to think about. Because this is your starter. So you could screw yourself over if you don't. But if there's this is my suggestion. If you like 3 guys that you think could start, let them wait. You know what I mean? Because I don't think 3 are going to go.
Yeah.
So that's my suggestion. And Chad went with James Robinson. Chad, I believe, took James Robinson in the 2nd round of our draft last year. So he ended up with a great pick.
Wasn't terrible.
And here's the best part
But he got hurt late.
But here's the thing about Chad's draft and how smart this pick was for him and giving him props. He's got ETN. So he's locked up the backfield.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
So that was great for him in the mock draft. And Jay is on the clock, so what you pondering, Jay? Where's your head at?
Oh, I don't know. I could go tight end here. Could also take a backup QB. I don't normally do that.
I mean, you're going to take a backup quarterback before you take your starting tight end? Think about it that way. Okay.
Why not?
Sure. He's just trying to screw me.
I am.
Go ahead. That's what fantasy football is all about. What about defense? Adams took a defense. No other defense went.
I'm taking Cole Kmet.
Okay, that's where I thought you were going. Oh, boy. Woo! All right, so Cole Kmet went. Isaiah Spiller went, who you actually should have considered because of your Eckler thing. Then Derek Carr went, I was hoping to get on the backswing, and I didn't. Kadarius Toney went, we're back to me, and I'm going to take my backup quarterback, and I'm just going to take him now just because it's back-to-back picks.
Sure.
So I started with Trey Lance, and I'm very comfortable bringing in Captain Kirk Cousins as my backup quarterback. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy having those. So we are starting the 11th round. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks left. So my team has got 6 picks left. One of them need to be a kicker. One of them need to be a defense. So I really got 4 positions I got to fill. Backup tight end maybe, and I got 3 running backs, 3 receivers. So I'm going to look at the running backs. I'm going to look at the receivers here. I have still a minute and a half here. Oh, you know what? You know what I got to do here, guys? I have got to take, just because he's quite possibly the number 2 receiver on one of the best offenses in the NFL, and he's still sitting here, taking Michael Gallup at receiver there. I think that's just a good
I like that
pick.
pick. It's
me too.
very, very valuable there. And even though he's injured and possibly missing the beginning of the season, which is completely fine with the receivers that you have, he's just going to be a guy that if he comes in and plays well, you could make it into your flex position probably.
Well, I got Hopkins, who's not going to play.
Right.
So if he misses... If say Gallup misses the first 3 to 4 weeks, I'm down 2 receivers at least 4 weeks. But I can still draft another one.
Right.
And I thought that value there was great. We went with Sharp Stevenson, who I was thinking about just because of the value.
Ramondre.
Yes,
close enough.
Ramondre Stevenson. Ronald Jones, who could be the starting running back in Kansas City. The president of the president of the United States, Alexander Madison. And we're back to Jay Coleman now. So I took Kirk Cousins. Were you looking at him as your backup quarterback?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. And I'm happy I got him. But you're not going to need really a backup quarterback because of Burrow. Or me, if Lance shits the bed, I'm comfortable with Cousins now.
Yeah.
That's why it was important for me to have one of the best backups. I have the 3rd backup quarterback. So I'm very happy.
I agree with that. You want to have a solid backup.
I'm going to take Jameson Williams here.
Great, why not?
Another value pick there. Guy is injured. Probably going
And
to be...
I might have taken him, but the fact that I don't have Hopkins for 8 weeks, I can't not go in and have them both for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So you went Jameson. Chad's looking at home, looking to make his pick at home. He went Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Very well could be the number 1 in Kansas City. We don't know. Tua went. David Pierce, running back from Houston, went. My boy Albert Okunwebom went. Jahan Dotson went. Jarvis Landry. And Adam, you're up for deuce.
So, like I said, this is where the value starts to kick in. You're looking at, especially in keeper leagues, you're probably looking at a guy that may be injured. Not that anybody's injured right now because it's early. That you could keep for the following year. Rookies are always a great pick here. Handcuffs are always a good pick here.
Especially in the bedroom.
Yes. I am also going to go with a backup quarterback here. And I'm going to take Jameis Winston.
Okay.
Not great, but not the best. But I also have Jalen Hurts, so I'm not really too worried about my backup quarterback.
Well, you kind of did what I did. The simple fact that we've got more of a running, not so sure quarterback.
Yes.
Our backups are more steady pocket guys.
Yes.
I think that's the way to go if you've got one of those.
And here with the first pick in the 12th round, I am going to take a guy that is probably on Jay's radar here. I'm going to take Ingram, and solely because I don't want Jay to have his handcuff. In case Kamara does get suspended, I'm all set. Okay. Because if Kamara does get suspended, Mark Ingram is 100% a starting running back in fantasy football.
Okay, so you went Mark Ingram. Next was Deshaun Watson.
Gross.
Bad pick. Naheem Hines. That makes me sad. That's why.
That's a good pick as well. Yep, I do really like that. He catches a lot of balls out of the backfield. Gives Jonathan Taylor a much-needed break.
And I have Taylor.
And you have Taylor.
To me,
so there goes your handcuff.
Yep.
Cry a little bit about
Tyler Boyd went. Another great pick. Hunter Hurst Henry went. Another great pick. Darrell Henderson, the uncertainty of Cam Akers' injury. Great pick. Chad at home, right on the clock with the Buccaneers defense. Great pick. Second best defense in the NFL. And Jay, you are on the clock. Your last 2 picks were Cole Kmet, Jameson Williams. You got all your starters. You still got 5 more players to pick, 3 more really, because of defense and kicker.
Yeah, I'm taking the running back Tyler
Algier from the Falcons. Mm-hmm. All right, you're looking at the. You know what? That's a great pick because who the hell knows about
Cordell Patterson? Plus, he's getting older.
After that, Irv Smith went. Rondale Moore, Justin Fields, who. I value Justin Fields highly as a backup quarterback, but since I started with Lance, I could not go into the season with Lance and Fields. Just couldn't.
I agree.
I just needed somebody better.
I would hate to have both of them on my team.
So, since I could not back up my boy Taylor, and I chose to not back up Ezekiel Elliott, I'm going to go with rookie running back from Tampa Bay, Rachaad White. Put him on my bench. He's going to be backing up Fournette. You never know if he takes over. He takes over, right? So, could be a thing, right? So, I'm looking at some running back depth. I've got 4 running backs of Rachaad White, Taylor, Fournette, Elliott, and Hunt. I got 5 running backs. So, set on running backs. I'm not going to draft another one. There's somebody I like, but I'm not going to do it. Receivers, I got 4, and 2 of them are injured for a while here. So
one is injured, one is suspended.
One is suspended, right. Another 2, yeah, you're right.
Which I think is why a lot of people are really kind of looking over DeAndre Hopkins in that aspect. Oh, he is suspended. Oh, I shouldn't take him, blah, blah, blah. But it's a suspension, like I said. It's not going to gel right away with the offense, but it's better than coming back from an injury where you're taking it easy, not to get re-injured. You're just getting thrown into the offense that's been gelling for 6-7 weeks.
So I got 2 position players still to pick, and then defense and kicker. Both of the guys I want, I'm gonna get late, I think. So I'm just gonna go in and go take a defense. I'm gonna take the 3rd best defense in the NFL in the Los Angeles Rams.
That's a good pick, too.
The
Rams are great. They always were. They are going to continue to be great.
So we went Jacoby Myers, David Njoku, Trevor Lawrence, and Jay, you're on the clock.
And I'm going with the 49ers defense.
Great. We're
also
taking
a solid defense.
By the way, all of us, all the human players have taken defense. None of the computer players have. But the leagues at home, 7 defenses will be gone by now.
Once that first defense gets picked...
Chad took Justin Tucker.
Okay, see, Justin Tucker was my next pick here. So I'm really upset that he did that.
Well, we went Kelly Galladay,
but it's okay.
Kenny Galladay, DJ Chark, Marlon Mack, Khalil Herbert, Noah Fant, and we're back to
Kenny Galladay is really surprising there because he is the wide receiver in New York.
Is he?
He's the starter. I mean, at least he should be. They signed him off free. They gave him a ton of money.
He's also one of the most oft injured.
But he's injured a lot. But all the wide receivers on the Giants have been injured a lot. Sterling Shepard I've been so high on, and he's just disappointed me year after year. Sure. Here we are, 13th, where are we, 13th round? Yeah, last pick of the 13th round. I have the bookends, 13, and the first pick in the 14th. So here's where I start to look at. I would have taken Tucker if he was there, but Chad took him. So I am just going to take a...
Not going T-Bass?
I'm probably not going to take a kicker. I'm looking at what I have left. There's really just kind of nothing there. These are the rounds that you kind of... I mean, there's a few guys. But I love Mark Ingram.
This is where you win your league, y'all.
I am actually going to take Buffalo Bill JD. Oh, I'm sorry. Washington Commander JD McKissick.
Good pick.
Yeah.
Great PPR pick there.
And then just to fill my kicker spot, I am going to take a kicker, and I will take the kicker that was perfect last year in Evan McPherson.
Okay. So then we went Kenny Gainwell, who I think is a great pick. We went Tim Patrick, George Pickens, that paired up with Ryan Pickett. We got Harrison Butker.
Kenny Pickett.
Whatever.
Get your... You play fantasy
so high right now. Tyler Higbee went, and Chad's on the clock at home. He's got his defense and kicker, so he's filling out his roster here. Jay, what are you thinking? You're on the clock next.
Probably going kicker.
Okay.
Just cuz.
I like it. You need it.
I think these last couple of rounds are everybody's just cuz rounds.
Well, I mean, you could win your league here.
If there was someone better that I liked, I would probably take them, but I'm okay with my roster.
These picks could win your leagues. You never know. I mean,
they could if they.
5 years ago, this is around the time that I drafted Patrick Mahomes to back up Cam Newton. You know what I mean? So this is different. So he went to Devontae Parker, and I like Devontae Parker. He's the best receiver that Mac Jones has ever had. So, in the NFL.
Well, and he's only been around for 2 years.
Well, I'm just saying.
I agree.
You know,
I like he's just got to stay on the field.
Yep, very true.
He's a guy
with Tyler Bass.
Tyler Bass, big money Bass. Daniel Carlson,
and
Matt Gay.
There goes the kickers.
Dallas Cowboys. Defense. I would have taken Bass if he was there just because I wanted a Bill. But I'm going to take a Bill here and Jamison Crowder.
It's a good pick there. He's a solid guy. He's probably going to put up better numbers than Beasley.
Put him on my team. Get him there. And you know who I'm going to pick? Let me see. Hang on. Let me see who's over here before I make that pick. You know what? I'm going to do this. Oh, my God. I forgot he was here. This is a great pick. This could be the steal of the draft. If this guy's going this late, and he stays healthy, of course, always the big question. This guy could be, if I can get this guy in the 15th round, I will do backflips. Raheem Mostert in the 15th round.
I literally just queued him up.
How could you not? Then we went Darrell Williams. I think that's Darrell Williams. I don't know. The Chargers defense.
Darrell Williams.
Whatever. The Gus Edwards. No, I think that's Darrell.
Darrell.
There's two different ones.
There's all kinds of Williams.
Now we're back to Jay for your second to last pick. You got your defense. You got your kicker. So
I'm going back up QB and taking Matt Ryan.
How can you go wrong? Great backup quarterback.
Absolutely.
Fantastic backup quarterback. Some weeks you might even start him over Burrow if he gets hot.
Chad to
Chuba, great pick. Ravens D, Mecole Hardman, Matt Prater, New Orleans Saints, Young Ho Koo. All right, Andrew, closing out this draft. If he's back to
for Hardman to go there, that's really good. Being their second wide receiver,
is he? Because he's the third one. He's the fourth one drafted. Juju went, Valdez-Scantling went, Sky Moore.
I know, which is really sad because
I don't like Hardman.
I don't like anybody outside of anybody.
Hardman's never done it.
Now that Hill is gone, it doesn't matter, and Hardman hasn't been able to step in
to do anything.
But I would have taken him in the 15th round. So these are just two picks that really don't matter to me. I went two running backs and a kicker. I am going to take a wide receiver here, and I am going to take Van Jefferson.
Great pick.
From the Rams. He is probably a touchdown-dependent wide receiver, especially with the addition of Allen Robinson. And then I'm just going to take a backup tight end because I can, and I am going to take Rob Gronkowski here as my last pick because I'm just going to stash him on my bench because I don't care to start anybody over Darren Waller until I have to, and then I'll just drop my worst player at the time. So I'm going to stash Gronk and hope he comes out of retirement for a nice long playoff run that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are inevitably going to go on.
I think that's fine, but to be honest, you're not going to have Gronkowski on your roster for 14 weeks.
Absolutely not.
So, but
he is my first drop candidate.
Yeah.
If I don't hear anything of him coming back, let's see, when is Waller's bye week? Let's see if it tells me.
So after the Gronk pick, we had the Colts D, Nick Folk, the New England Patriots, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Rodrigo Blankenship, Baker Mayfield, interesting by Chad, and Jay's on the clock.
That's a weird... I guess he's the best backup available. Let's see, what quarterback?
Baker? There's still some decent ones there.
You're going to take Tannehill over Baker?
I would take Daniel Jones.
I would take Daniel Jones over Baker.
I would take Mariota.
I would even probably take a chance on Davis Mills. A lot of people, I think, are sleeping on him. Different offense now.
I'm a Daniel Jones supporter, but if I would have taken a better quarterback, Jones I would take in this area. But since I took it back up early, he's not on my list.
Right.
So Jay, you're your last pick. You got your kicker, got your defense. This is your last player. Make it count. This could make or break your team. And then we got to go through our rosters.
I'm going to just take a backup tight end just because.
Sure.
Gerald Everett.
One of your guys. Green Bay Packers. I don't even know what this says. Thomas Davis Pruitt. I don't even know what that says. Then we got Robbie.
Tyrion Davis Price. Close enough.
And the last.
Nobody even knows who that is.
The last pick for me.
Mr. Irrelevant. In this fantasy mock draft.
We're going, why not? Mr. McManass.
There you go.
So actually, we can turn this into a league. All right, so let's go over our rosters. There's a little thing you can hit and see your roster. So let's, let me just go over Chad's draft real quick since he's not here. Justin Jefferson, Saquon Barkley, Terry McLaurin, Travis Etienne, J.K. Dobbins, Dalton Schultz, Gabe Davis, Matt Stafford, Russell Gage, James Robinson, Valdez-Scantling, Buccaneers D, Justin Tucker, Devontae Parker, Chuba Hubbard, Baker Mayfield. I like Chad's team. I think he did a good job.
For having the 6th pick, that's a really solid team. I'd
Totally
be very, very happy
solidified.
with that.
You know, Gabe Davis is your third receiver. Great. Good job, Chad. We'll go with me. My starting lineup, did you see the roster thing? So my starting lineup looks like this. Trey Lance, Jonathan Taylor, Leonard Fournette, Ezekiel Elliott in the flex, DJ Moore, Mike Williams, Zach Ertz. I got Brandon McManus and the Rams defense, but I also got Kareem Hunt on the bench, DeAndre Hopkins on the bench, Michael Gallup on the bench, Kirk Cousins, Rashad White, Jamison Crowder, Raheem Mostert. Looking at my team, this team fucking crushes. If I fucking ended up with this fucking team, I would be doing backflips. I mean, if I have a running back injury, I got Kareem Hunt as my 4th running back.
Very solid.
I'm fantastic and happy with that. The receivers, getting Gallup late, but getting Crowder late to fill in for the injuries, fantastic. I love my team. Jay, what are you looking at as your starting lineup?
All right, my starting lineup is Joe Burrow, Austin Eckler, Alvin Kamara, Keenan Allen, Jalen Waddle, Cole Kmet, Adam Thielen, Tyler Bass, the 49ers defense, and then my bench is Singletary, James Cook, Chris Olave, Jameson Williams, Tyler Algier, Matt Ryan, Gerald Everett. Again,
love it. I mean, even with your pick of Kamara who could be suspended, you got those 2 Bills guys that could, you could figure out which one to plug in there. Perfect.
I agree.
Love it.
And having the 12th pick, my starting lineup looks like this. Jalen Hurts, Nick Chubb, James Conner, Stephon Diggs, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, A.J. Dillon in my flex. We have Evan McPherson at kicker, the Bills defense, and my bench is rookie Drake London, Chase Claypool, Jameis Winston as a backup QB, Mark Ingram, J.D. McKissick, Van Jefferson, and we took a flyer on Rob Gronkowski, hoping he comes out of retirement.
All right, so I mean, obviously we all think our teams are the best, I'm sure.
I would be happy. I wouldn't think it's the best. I think there's... Team 9, Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Swift, Justin Herbert, those 3 picks.
What did you wait the longest on? I think your weakness is flex.
I waited pretty long on my flex. I also waited a long time on my wide receiver, only because
Renfro's your number 2. I don't think that's terrible.
Renfro is my number 2. I got him pretty late, and I'm happy with where I got him.
I just think A.J. Dillon's a flex. Could be good, could be bad.
I probably wouldn't start him...
But you could do worse.
I probably would.
You could do worse than A.J. Dillon in your flex.
You could.
Jay, your weakness is obviously tight end.
Yeah.
Having waited.
What did you end up... you purposely waited. And what did you end up with?
Cole Kmet
and
Gerald Everett.
Everett. I mean, you like Cole Kmet, so maybe it's not. So we'll have to see. If you're going to be weak at tight end, you did it. My weakness could be quarterback, but Trey Lance and Kirk Cousins, I don't think that's too weak. Trey Lance could win me the league. Trey Lance could be the number 1 quarterback, and if he sucks, I got steady Eddie Kirk Cousins in a brand new offense.
I would definitely consider your quarterback a weakness. Probably tight end more so than your quarterback, though. And it's not because Zach Ertz is garbage, because he's by no means garbage.
I'm comfortable with it.
I would be happy with him where you picked him for sure. But like you said, if Trey Lance becomes the guy that we hope that he could become, you're solid.
If Trey Lance plays...
You have 4 solid running backs and
three
solid receivers. And Gallup could be good too if when he comes back from injury. And
Jamison Crowder to me is a sleeper pick.
I agree. Crowder was on my radar, probably around that round.
Here's my thing with Trey Lance, and we'll end it soon because we're over an hour and a half.
Sure.
If Trey Lance plays like Jalen Hurts did last year, and I got him in the 8th round, could be 9th round, I win this league. You know what I mean? Just because of top 5 quarterback production in the 9th.
All biases aside, real quick before we end, looking at this draft board, who do you think has the best team?
It's hard to... Honestly, I do think I do. But if I'm not going to pick me,
And you can if you really truly feel that way, but
I do feel me because I value running backs so high, and I'm the one that hammered him. I hammered him more than anybody.
You did.
So, that's why my team was my 3 running backs: Jonathan Taylor, Leonard Fournette, Ezekiel Elliott. My starting 3. Team 7s: Joe Mixon, Breece Hall, Elijah Mitchell. I mean, I win that.
Absolutely.
Right? Like that.
Okay,
that's
what
how I
about
feel.
Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Swift, Cam Akers?
I like it, but Cam Akers I hate. So that makes me barf in my mouth, to be honest.
Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Swift, Justin Herbert, first 3 picks.
That's a great line. But
I think that has a great 3 picks, but I think after that, terrible.
Their number 1 receivers: Amari Cooper, Treylon Burks, Robert Woods. Gross.
Yep, I agree.
Get out of here.
Agree.
So I guess if it's out of you two, we'll say, I just because of the running back heavy, I'm going to go with Jay's team.
I agree.
Yeah. And I like Chad's team, too, to be honest.
I do. You only just because he has Barkley.
I do like Barkley, but I also like Jefferson a lot.
I think that Team 8 has a really solid lineup. Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes, Michael Pittman, Allen Robinson.
Their number 1 running back is Miles Sanders. I can't.
They went very...
Out! Throw them out!
They went very high risk, high reward.
I like Jay's team.
And I think that could win.
Adam, if I'm going to be honest, the reason I don't like your team is because I hate your fucking running backs.
I hate my team too.
I know. I hate Nick Chubb with it.
I do. I really do.
And I really hate James Conner. So, that's what puts me down on your team.
Yeah.
To be completely honest.
But, when you're picking 12, you're eating good shit for a running back.
But,
so
no, he could have. Because if I was in your position,
12 is
Adam,
tough.
DeAndre Swift over Nick Chubb 10 out of 10 times. 10 out of 10 times.
I could have gone Chubb Swift, and I probably should have.
No, you should have went, in my opinion, Swift Diggs. I think that's a better start.
Okay.
In a PPR.
Well, either way. Yeah.
I
mean, Chubb had...
If that was Swift Diggs, I wouldn't hate your team as much. I'm just being completely honest. I don't like Chubb in a PPR.
Honestly, I was going based on volume, and I know he gets a lot of volume, and I know DeAndre Swift has not crazy injury issues, but he has been hurt and hasn't played a full season.
Would you have taken Najee Harris instead of Chubb?
I would have taken Najee Harris if he was there for sure.
What about you, Jay? Who do you think has the best team? Throw yours out, obviously.
I actually really like Team 4 too.
Yeah, Chubb, Diggs, Waller, Connor.
I like Team 9 a lot.
Cook, Swift, Herbert.
Yeah.
I don't like their receivers.
Dude, yeah, their receivers are garbage.
Yeah, their receivers aren't great.
I like Team 4. I like Team 3 and I like Team 4. God, I like Team 2, 3, and 4 probably as if we're really looking at it. Derrick
Team
Henry,
2 is good.
Mike Evans,
Team
Mark
2
Andrews. I wouldn't have taken Mark Andrews that early.
Pretty,
but Team 2 is solid.
Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs.
I like that. If they didn't take Andrews, but they got Andrews in the 3rd, that team would have been better to me. If they would have took Keenan Allen there instead of Mark Andrews, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think we all did good. Chad at home did good.
I definitely think we all did good. Out of us 3, I think...
I don't think your team is bad.
I think I like Jay's team a little bit more, and not because you picked 3 wide receivers or 3 running backs in a row, but I like Eckler, Kamara, Keenan Allen, Jalen Waddle.
It's great.
And Joe Burrow's your quarterback. I'm in.
Well, that's it. We're an hour and 40 minutes long ass podcast here. Jay, we're going to miss you next week. Who knows? If we go through quarterbacks quick, maybe you can mock draft remotely. We'll do another one next week or something while you're laid up in bed.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do that for you. Other than that, I want to say, Adam, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for filling
me again. I
filling in
appreciate
next
it.
week for Jay.
Absolutely.
Jay, good luck on your surgery.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully you recover well. Maybe we'll make you do a mock draft. Who knows? But for these guys, it's your boy Chaz for episode 8, right?
We're getting there.
Episode 8 of the Fantasy Football Bros. The song of the week, I promised it last week. We're going to go with Avatar. This is Hail to the Apocalypse. They're great live. I just saw them last week. And we, meaning me and Adam, will see you next week. Peace.
Later, guys.
Bitch.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.